Welcome back, everybody, to another. Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Ready Up. My name is Spicer,
And I'm Leo.
and we just watched Brightburn.
It burns so bright.
It burns. And we're going to give you our thoughts on it based on 6 categories in a non-spoiler, non-detail fashion. Those categories are direction, writing, acting, sound, music, and visual effects. So, what do you think of Brightburn in a directorial category?
So I think the movie was very well made technically. From a directorial standpoint. It delivered. It got all those moments they're going for. I think they did really well.
Mm-hmm. That was pretty bland. Thought no chance was taken. We'll get to it in the writing. So writing on this one, I think the only chance they took was just the flip. And if you've seen the trailers, you have to have seen the trailers if you're here.
Right.
If you're not, it's basically Superman gone evil, right? So, yeah. And really, that was the only chance they took in this movie. And they could have done a whole lot more with the characters. The characters seem kind of bland and stupid.
You didn't think, without any spoilers, you didn't think the ending was a chance? A little bit of a
only standard? Because I don't consider it a chance because it was not surprising.
It was one of the two that you anticipated before the movie started, for sure.
Yeah. So what about you? What do you think about the writing?
I would definitely agree. There's it's serviceable. Like it's nothing extraordinary. It's not. I definitely wouldn't say it's bad. It's very well done, technically similar to directing. There isn't really any problems with it. But now that you said with the taking of the chance, it feels very standard in a way. Like it's like there weren't really any big surprises. The writing is not why you come to see this movie. I think.
Yeah. And we'll get to that in the spoiler discussion. That particular statement of why you would even go see this movie.
Yeah.
So acting, I thought it was okay. Elizabeth Banks did her best. I thought she was like the foundation of this movie in terms of emotional arc and emotional range. And I think they needed someone just a little bit more believable in this, because some of the acting was just it was kind of awkward in how acty it was instead of how I'm just experiencing something instead of like I'm watching someone act. The boy did pretty good. I mean, he didn't really have to do much, but he was okay. The father was pretty good, and everybody else was just standard. What'd you think?
I liked the uncle.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was one of the strongest moments in the movie for me, where it's like it felt very grounded in especially certain characters, like responses to things. So yeah, it wasn't any extraordinary acting, but it wasn't. I didn't think it was bad acting. I think it was very kind of grounded and real, and I think that's what they were kind of trying to go for. It's like this could happen right now, you know. It's like a lot of the responses seemed like legit in certain moments of the movie. But besides that, again, the arcs aren't really super crazy. There aren't any insane emotional moments, and they're not really taking too big of a risk with the plot, and the acting kind of just goes hand in hand with that.
Yeah. So what about the sound? What do you think about the sound?
The sound was pretty good. I would say that's probably for me the strong point of the movie. Just the way that they're setting up mood and atmosphere with the visual effects and just those sounds and those little, just the creepy stuff, and the contrast between the build up sound, which is very low and like kind of full of tension, and then the very intense things when things finally go down between the big scenes. And it's like the sound, I feel like, very much sold it for me. So
the jump scares that they're giving you and stuff, sound definitely contributed to that. They used it really well, I think, in terms of the latest horror movies that are around, and like we saw a bunch of previews of them before. It's kind of like the same, like you know, like that type of sound and stuff like that, and then silence right before, and you know, stuff like, you know, your usual sound. I mean, they came up with like you know, a sound for Brightburn, but I mean, it just sounded like insects to me.
Okay.
Whenever he was coming around, so nothing nothing super new for me. And the music kind of fell into the background, very standard in terms of, you know, like whenever stuff was supposed to, you know, surprise you. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I would definitely agree regarding the music. It disappeared a little bit. It didn't stand out in a bad way, for sure. But yeah, it feels like a lot of the aspects of this movie are very kind of standard, with the twist of, hey, what if, you know, what if, you know, Superman was bad, and then the rest from that initial premise that constructs the movie and the directions they go to, it's pretty much standard for like modern attempted horror movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Visual effects. I thought they were around a little bit better than a Flash episode.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like if Flash had maybe a $1 million more.
Okay.
What'd you think?
In terms of all the supernatural stuff, yes, the movie is very brutal with its gore, and I think based on that and just how graphic certain things get, I feel like it was definitely more than just a Flash thing, but it was definitely the brutality is definitely a key aspect of the biggest moments of this movie. So in that, I think it was above that, but also pretty much what you would expect from a horror movie nowadays.
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, it wasn't bad. It did the job. It got the cringes out of me a couple of times. So
yeah. I mean, on that type of stuff. I mean, there was one kill that was like, ooh, but I mean, I think they did it for that reason only, and they created that scene for that only. And it's just like, we're creating this whole story arc so that we can, you know, so that this person can do this one thing that's going to make everybody in the theater.
You think they
squirmy.
constructed?
I think it was very contrived.
Okay.
Super contrived. I mean, the way it happened is stupid.
Okay.
I mean, you see it in the trailer. You know, the waitress with the glass in her eye, and when she pulls it out, it's obviously, you know, very like, you know, and they kind of keep it there, and they do something new with it, but it just feels like they constructed the whole thing just for that.
For those really moments.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll believe it. It makes sense it makes sense for. This is definitely the primary impact that they want from those brutal moments. It's just like, like kind of.
Yeah.
A little bit of that, while also being generally creeped out throughout the movie, which is how they set up that scene, that whole setting. So the whole feel.
So, do you ready up or ready down on this one?
It's hard to say. I don't really feel like. I mean, it's enjoyable. Like it's a fun watch if you're into horror movies and just stuff like that with brutality. But it didn't really. Right now, I don't feel like it's going to leave a lasting impression. I feel like I went in on a standard horror flick that has a twist on the premise, which is bringing a lot of parallels between Superman and this. And that's, I feel like, what got people on seats. But there weren't that many people in that theater. I think there was
There's 10.
Yeah.
And there was yawning.
Yeah, and this is a Friday night showing. So...
Yeah, so ready up or ready down?
It's hard for me to say because I honestly it's just kind of, you know,
half and half.
Yeah, half and half. I would say for me.
All right, for me, I'm gonna have to say ready down all the way. I am not going to recommend you get ready, get in your car, drive to a theater, sit there, pay ridiculous prices for popcorn and drinks, and sit there and go through all the trailers and all the commercials and all, you know, no. Go stay at home, wait for it to come on DVD, watch it when you have nothing else to do. Right? This movie was weak overall for me, and definitely not a lasting impression in any way, except failure.
Wow.
Okay, so yeah, in terms of let's give it a numerical value, just for
Yeah, I think
fun.
for this one,
Yeah, what do you think?
I would put it at a 5 where everything is like, I would legit put it at a 5 where there wasn't, everything technically was done by the book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, oh, let's take this idea and put a twist on it and pop out a standard horror movie. So if you're into the genre, it's another one on the list. You're gonna enjoy it. You know, me personally, I don't love the horror genre. I have a few movies that are good movies that happen to be horror movies, but I don't seek out generally.
Yeah.
You know, the horror stuff. So for me, probably not. But I can't. If people are into this genre and they like these kind of movies, I feel like this is the same formula but with a twist in the premise, and the twist being, what if Superman as a kid was evil, basically, with some changes. But
Yeah.
and that's kind of what made me curious enough to go see it. But if I had known that it would have been this standard, I probably wouldn't have bothered.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, 100% agree with that. Yeah, 5 out of 10. I mean, low, like as low a 5 as you can get it, and as high a 4 as you can get it. Like somewhere in between there, you know, 4.999 all the way around.
Well,
but
it wasn't bad. I don't think it was bad.
It wasn't bad, but it's just
uninspired. Is what I would say.
it was. It just was not what I was. It just wasn't satisfying. I mean, there was a lot of moments that could have been. They could have said something or enriched the story or enriched something, but they were just like, all right, have fun. Okay, bye. All right, I love you. Okay, bye. It was just like that over and over again. But anyway, yeah. So we'll get into our spoiler discussion because we're about to spoil it. So if you haven't seen Brightburn, I suggest you don't go see it and just watch the spoiler stuff because it's going to be real simple, real easy. But if you really want to go see it,
if you're into the genre, do go see it. Like I said, it's standard. You're not going to be disappointed if this is the kind of movie that you're into. The standard modern day horror movie.
yeah. And if you're a horror movie fan, this is still something not to go see.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. So for me personally.
Okay.
All right. So if you haven't yet, make sure you like and subscribe if you would be so kind, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Welcome back, everybody, to the spoiler discussion for Brightburn. All right, so basically it's Superman, all right, and whenever he reaches those, challenges of whenever he can be good or bad, he just goes bad, all right? So
This is the Breaking Bad version of Superman as a kid.
yeah, so it's basically
Except
spaceship lands here. It's got the kid, the parents. We start the movie with the parents, Elizabeth Banks and the husband, about to make love. They've got a bunch of books on the panning that's, pregnancy, how to be fertile, all this stuff. So they obviously want a kid. You got the spaceship crashing. They obviously adopt the kid and start raising it as their own. At the age of 12, the spaceship becomes activated, and then his powers become activated and creates a split personality that's highly violent and selfish and chaotic. After that, basically the mom just denies all the obvious tellings that this little bastard's an evil person, and the ship that he came in is the only thing that will harm him. She tries to get that weapon, and she fails, and Brightburn basically starts taking over the Earth. And one thing I did like about this movie, but it just sucked all the way up to it, was, we've got all these other DC characters that are kind of in the same thing. It's like this old, this like other verse where instead of Batman choosing to be good, he's evil. Like
that
Wonder
what that
Woman.
was?
Yeah, Wonder Woman choking people to death with her rope.
Yeah, I wasn't paying close attention to that, but it was all that.
Yeah, so like all your DC Justice League is basically, created, but they're every chance that they had to be good, they were bad.
Like monsters and villains.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I would have liked this movie more if I knew this is a part of the DC universe and this is another Earth, another dimension, another reality, right? And then it's like, because you get those things in comics all the time. A what if comic that's like an alternate reality and alternate.
Yeah, this is a what if comic.
okay, but
unlicensed fan art.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not connected to anything, but really we know what they're doing. It's obvious, you know. So yeah, I would love that as the origin story for villains that will eventually see in the DCU, and then we gotta fight them, right? And that's where they're going, and that's kind of, I feel like, what they're trying to capitalize on. But we know they can't really do that unless, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this movie's not going to make any money. No one's going to like it enough for it to create this universe that they're trying to bait you into. You know, this little sequel baiting where there's all these other things, and it's just really, really bland. Again, the dialogue is not good. There's a lot of missed opportunities instead of just saying bye or da 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 da. They could have just ripped that scene out and put something else in where, like, pretty much soon as the ship is activated, there is no way that kid's going to change his mind about anything. There's no effective way in which we're like, oh, well, maybe he is good. Maybe he does something good.
Struggle at all.
Yeah,
it
just boom.
He goes from perfect little 12-year-old to Hitler.
Yeah.
Like that. It just,
and doesn't go back, doesn't struggle.
Yeah, he just
doesn't do any of that. He's just like, oh, I can do that now? Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to take care of everything. I'm just going to do everything, you know? So, or, you know, if I want to talk to a girl, I'm going to go into her room late at night and I'm going to bring her flowers and freak her the hell out and break her hand. And it was just,
I feel like they're trying to go with like toxic masculinity on that a little bit. I felt like those themes, but more than anything else, it just, like, I don't know, like they did like foreshadowing of those weird things that he was looking at, and they're like, give us hints about the character and how
his mindset,
who he is, and the mindset, but not really. Like foreshadowing isn't really character development. So I didn't buy the, I don't know. It was where the transition into full evil. It was like very, very abrupt for me.
Yeah, it's like you have like a home run theme and they just like got a base hit off of it, you know. It's like they could have hit a home run with it, and instead they just got, you know, they just missed the opportunity, because I'm pretty sure whatever studios were handed this synopsis were like, well, you know, the fact that we're doing Superman Evil is the biggest chance that we're going to take during this. Everything else needs to be by the numbers. All right, we need this by the numbers. You know, like the deaths. The only unique death is the lower mandible being separated from the skull.
Yeah, I thought the whole scene was, for horror movie standards, were pretty good because of the humor prior. His reaction, like I like that. And you got a few laughs in the audience. I like that.
But I heard someone yawning, like like
that specific scene, or just
whenever his dad gets pushed almost through a wall, and he's like, I know what I'm gonna do to fix this. I'm gonna take him camping. It's like, oh my god. But obviously he's going there to like shoot the kid in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And you know, that's pretty much the final straw that turns him into Brightburn 100%. You know, like,
sure.
Up until then, he's just discovering what he can do.
I think the mom was, because the mom was the person who he felt most connected to, and then when she turned and tried to kill him, that's when he let her go. He lets go of his humanity. So that was the scene where you see him dropping her and all that. So that was, to me, kind of that, where up to that point he was just making it personal, but now it's not. No, fuck it, I'm just gonna take the world, like they say. So yeah.
It was,
but like I said, the writing, it's just, I feel like if there was so much like the Superman origin story, but then they're not doing anything else really with it, like interesting plot wise, and they're just adding the little connective tissue to the greater DCU, except it's not the dark, whatever, bizarre world. It's just like they might as well should have wrote something original.
Like if they had a hero in there, so, you know, someone of equal power to him, but his opposite, right? Like his mother is not qualified to be the opposite. Like in terms of humanity and how much she loves life and how much he doesn't care about life, that is a complete opposite. But a character complete opposite, like Superman, and then they had like a Lex Luthor or something like that come in, and you know, at least give him some type of, you know, struggle, and then kill that guy and then that would have been so much more interesting than just camping trips and hugs.
What do you think? What do you think if they had made that girl the kind of Lex Luthor equivalent? Like
That
she
would have
grows
been
up.
great. Yeah, like
Right,
as soon
she
as
has
her
a
arm's
person-
broken, she's on a quest to kill this
And
guy.
if she's a genius, but just a normal human, that could have been, again. But I feel like without the DC stamp on it, I feel like it's too derivative. Like, yeah, you can tell a good story, but why isn't this under DC as an alternate Earth? Like,
Yeah, and the storyline, I thought the girl that he liked was going to be his moment of turning, of like, oh yeah, I'm just going to be totally bad now. But it was basically just used for him to show how creepy he is, and then that's it.
yeah,
And then he killed his mom so that they can get the glass out of her eye. Now there was one cool thing that they did is that whenever she looked around,
the thing went up.
Ding, ding,
Yeah,
you heard this little ding ding, and I was like, oh
yeah. No, they that moment was delivered well. That's what they were going for. It's that moment and the moment with the jaw, with the uncle. That's really, like you said, I really believe it because those are the strongest moments in the movie in terms of. I agree with your assessment that it probably structured the whole movie around those moments. Like, how do we get to those moments? Just fill it up.
Yeah, and that's not the way you write. I mean, they tried to use it as a character. But basically like a character arc or transformation of some sort. But it was basically just like here's a kill scene, here's another kill scene, and that was it. And there was no progression. It was just a switch.
Yeah,
and that was it. And then there was a split personality, and that was it. And then he accepted who he was, and I mean, like, I don't know. It was just done poorly. The kid wasn't that great of an actor either. I didn't really believe him. What about you? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, it's definitely a missed opportunity. I'm going in and I felt because of the comic book blood that this movie obviously has. Like, it's definitely this is a DC alternate reality story. It is. They just for whatever reason they didn't get the licensing. But something in negotiations, I imagine, I don't actually know, but something went wrong and they weren't able to get it in there as the pitch for alternate reality because of whatever continuity thing they're doing currently. But I imagine. But
what do you think about the costume?
I mean, it's fine. Like it's just, I honestly I didn't feel anything. They're going for a creepy kid thing. I guess they got it. It fits. It just didn't feel. I mean, I could see how, if this is actually an origin story and you do a time jump, you make another movie, which I don't know if they will.
I hope they don't.
I mean, there's potential. There's something that could be done with that story where it's like, here's the evil Justice League, and that's gonna be the outfit. It's like Scarecrow and Superman kind of mix. I feel like they were going for it. But. It's fine. Like, it didn't bother me. It just it was made of kids stuff. It's whatever. The icon, the symbol. Yeah, I guess it was just his logo, just his signature, so it wasn't anything alien from there. But it's fine. I don't know. They're trying to create this weird mix, and they're not the first, but they're trying to create this mix between horror movie and superhero movie, like specifically comic book superheroes genre. Yeah. I don't think this movie will stay with me.
Yeah, I don't want a genre like this, like superhero horror, because it's all just like, I mean, how far can you really go with that? And it's all about the kills. It's not really about the progression or the depth of the character, at least not in this movie. I mean, maybe if they can get into that, but I mean.
Would you watch a horror movie about that, what is it called? The Batman Joker combo.
The Batman Who Laughs.
Yeah, the Batman Who Laughs horror story.
I mean, if he came into our universe of some sort, and Batman was here, to be his opposite, or
and then eventually he stops him, but you get a lot of
Yeah,
I think that would be a much better movie.
But like an entire movie about his transformation, I don't want that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like a flashback, yeah. you know,
Okay.
but not an entire movie about
Yeah.
it. Because you know what's going to happen. Like the Joker movie that's about to come out, like that's different. That is obviously like the lighting is fucking beautiful on that movie.
Right.
Like color tone. They obviously love what they're doing, understood the material, and like I'm expecting that movie to be like one of the greatest superhero movies.
Really?
Ever. Like Logan for me is number one. Like
Superhero movies?
Yeah, yeah.
In the DC. Or
Logan,
overall?
Logan, like overall.
Oh, yeah, Logan is not DC. But
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I meant outside of the MCU. Or do you count Infinity War? Do you think Logan is better than Infinity War?
I think Logan's better than Infinity War just
Really?
because of like that's the way you sign out of a character.
Okay. It was very
Yeah.
dark tone, though, because
Yeah.
it's also a question of tone. The Logan tone, not good. Like, it was very, like, I like movies that are uplifting to some degree, and Logan was not uplifting. It was
Not at
depressing
all.
as hell.
Yeah, but it's so
It is.
beautiful. It's such a beautiful movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what, earlier I said, like, this is almost like a Superman if it was Breaking Bad, but I feel like I was giving too much credit because Breaking Bad has amazing writing.
Yeah.
And I feel like this premise could have had,
Mm-hmm.
could have done something. I know, and when we went in, you said specifically there's only one of two ways this movie ends: either they kill the kid or he takes over the world.
Mm-hmm.
One or the other. And they played one ending and go with the other. You know.
Yeah.
So
And it was either going to be all right or really bad. And it's like all right movies just get worse and worse for me because like you could have done something, you know, but you kind of missed it. Or maybe it's not just one person, maybe it's a bunch of people. Maybe, you know, they think it's really cool and that's fine and it's for them. Maybe there's someone it's going to inspire them, you know, whatever. But I don't know, maybe it's someone's guilty pleasure movie of some sort. But
maybe it's definitely an idea. It's a premise. I feel like the movie could have benefited with a lot more back and forth from the kid as slow descent, rather than
yeah, or like gets the powers and sees what he does and is conflicted, and then can't stop it, so finally accepts it, and then starts relishing in it.
Yeah.
And then that's a character arc, you
I
know.
feel like that's what was missing because maybe the first time where he's like starting to notice what's happening with him, he was too cool with it. Like I feel like it should have been like, no, oh no, what have I done? Like just have this breakdown repeatedly. Like I don't control myself. Like being afraid of himself, and then maybe like you said, develop into accepting it and like I can use this power to get back at all the people who were not nice to me. Starts to see the benefit and gets corrupted. I feel like that would have been a much better arc than what they did, which is basically he was always kind of evil in secret almost.
Yeah.
Because you know those pictures it showed and the chicken, and it's like because he was collecting those when they find under his bed. They were collecting his fascination with corpses or entrails and stuff, and
psycho activity.
It was definitely like a serial killer. Like it's kind of
Yeah, he was already a serial killer before he got powers. Like,
Yeah.
he was on the way because they find like porn under his bed, and it's like lingerie models, and then it starts getting into like weird drawings.
human anatomy and
And then it starts getting into pictures of intestines and like people being opened up, and they're like, oh, well, that's just normal, isn't it? I mean, these parents are the most idiotic parents I've seen on screen in a long time. Especially the mother. She was so blinded by wanting a cute little boy again.
And the thing is, I would believe that level of blindness to it would have that ruined her final turn when she does realize and accept it. Because I'm like, if you've been so blind and you're like, I would be with my kid no matter what after that, I feel like just be on his side, support him. Even like be a villain basically with him, right?
That would have been much cooler.
Right? If
Like her
he-
transformation.
If she has that psychotic breakdown, she's like, well, you know, F the world, I'm going to be with my crazy kid no matter what.
Yeah. That would have been great.
That would have made sense because she's acting like that's what's going to happen the entire movie, and then like, oh, I'm just going to kill him.
Yeah, that was.
Because I'm like, you know, either you're with the law and reason, but if you're caught up in that emotion, then I don't see you getting out of that emotion very quickly. I feel like really hating yourself, but realizing you couldn't harm your kid no matter what, then you just kind of go crazy and you're with them. But
Yeah, because she could have represented like the good of the world, or like all that, and then her being corrupted is kind of giving you the sense that the world is now doomed. That's what she could have represented, but all she represented was some crazy mom. It's like
but not even fully crazy, just kind of dumb and delusioned.
Delusional. Yeah, totally delusional. So much so that stupid. Like she just gets into.
And I like the actress a lot. I've never disliked
Elizabeth.
any character that I've seen her portray. I really like this actress.
Yeah, she's really great. I love Elizabeth Banks, but she needed a few more skills to really pull this off and sell it for me. Like her scares, and I don't know, they just seemed like movie screams instead of I'm in this situation, I'm fully committed to it, And then she had to deal with all the visual effects of it, because there's no way they're sending holes through her house.
Right,
would have been great for her to be able to react to that like naturally, but she has to fake it, and it's just like, and then the script's not that great, and she's creating things out of thin air probably to complete this character for herself. I don't know what her association. Maybe she's friends with James Gunn or something. But we get to see what's his name from Guardians of the Galaxy at the end.
Yondu.
Yondu. Yeah,
Booker or something.
Terry
Booker.
Something like
Booker. He was in Walking Dead before that.
Yeah, and he's in there like talking about basically the evil Justice League emerging and all that stuff, and
he's like on YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, which like the premise of it is cool, but the way it came out, it just seemed like, oh, I'm here to do this piece for my buddy James Gunn. All right, go ahead and roll. Let's go. All right, what you want me to say? It's just that's what the scene felt like, and it didn't seem like I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So not the best movie. Not even a good movie, but it's not a bad movie. It's just kind of like by the book.
I'm going with a 4 on this.
Okay.
I'm going with a 4 because the visual effects weren't that great. The music was standard. The sound was standard. The writing was poor. The acting was near poor, and the direction was just not even inspired.
I think this is a perfectly fine movie for like a non-theatrical release.
Yeah, like a Netflix, this would have been a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the fact that you got my ass up and you had me drive all the way over there and pay all that money, no.
Yeah. So that's pretty much, I would say that's the most honest assessment and correct one, where I would even agree with you with, if this was a Netflix release, 6 or a 7. But for a theater movie, I feel like it's like a 5 or 4. I definitely agree with you on that.
And that's the reason I feel like it felt like Flash is one of my favorite shows of all time. Like I love the Flash. I love the show. I'm not saying anything about its quality, because they put out great quality, especially in writing. All right. But this felt like a TV movie that they put a little extra money into it, and they didn't know what to do with it. And like this could have been the start of a great TV series. Like this would work as a great
like episode. Yeah.
Each episode's one of the evil Justice League characters, and then they all come together, and then at the end they all unite, and we're about to win, and the good guys come. Season 2.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with you on that. So I would say that's an honest assessment. So probably don't go to the theater to see it, sadly. But eventually it will come out if you're into the genre. It's an okay entertaining if you're just sitting at home and there's nothing else to watch. Definitely, it can be enjoyable. It's not a terrible movie, but it's not very inspired, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Not terrible, but definitely not inspired in any way. Yeah. All right. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, said it.
All right, everybody. This has been another exciting episode. So thoroughly thrilling episode of Ready Up. My name's Spicer.
And I'm Leo.
And we'll see you next time. Make sure to like and subscribe if you would be so